السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب يسر ولا تعسر، رب تمم بالخير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر وبالقدر خيره وشره من الله تعالى والبعث بعد الموت. حق أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. The most important phrase which gives serenity, peace to my spirit, of course, first, belief in God. But as far as our subject is concerned, I would say, وَالْبَعْثُ بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ حَقٌّ. That is, after death, the resurrection, to be given new existence, is really true. I confirm it. That is the best news for any human spirit after believing in God. So if someone doesn't believe in God, of course, there is nothing existing for this person apart from this universe. So there should be no way for him to imagine even in his belief. In his nature, yes. In his being, yes, but in his conclusion that there will be a new creation after death. So we are continuing to study the evidence why we should confirm the belief, necessary belief in the hereafter. After resurrection, after being given existence in another form, in another realm of existence. The ninth truth that we have studied up to this point, I would just read it. The gate of God's bestowal of life and death. Now we are going to concentrate on how life and death are given by our Creator, the manifestation of the names of eternally living and self-subsistent, and He, the one who gives life, must be the source of life Himself. It means His life must be essential to His being. So the names of eternally living and self-sustenance, subsistent. It means the one who provides the qualities of this universe must be Himself as source of life, and also He must be a self-subsistent being. And another quality of God name, which is quality of the creator, must be the giver of life and giver of death. Now, we usually describe death or understand death as the end of life. But in fact, giving life is an action. Giving death is also an action. So these actions need to be given existence by the one who gave existence to the universe, which is called God. Now we are going to, that's why we understand that the creator of this universe must have these qualities. He must be the giver of life and at the same time, giver of death. From time to time, we refer to this reality that we usually think death as the result of disappearance of life. But in fact, we must be very precise about this matter and be clear about it. Giving life is an action. Giving death is another separate action, which means life is existence, death is also existence. That's what we have to make sure for ourselves. First of all, we have to understand that death is created. So it is another type of existence, like any other creatures in the world. Some creatures are animate beings, some creatures are inanimate beings, and life is a creature, death is another type of creature. It is creature. So we have to understand that death is not missing our life. This is important to me in order to understand that everything is given existence purposefully. It is not accidentally, death is not accidentally losing one's life. No, it is a deliberate action. As we see in the course of our life, as we are given existence in this world, in the form of a fetus and then a baby, etc., young age and old age, and everything is created in an order, perfectly arranged, but for a purpose. The purpose, one of the simple way of understanding the purpose is everything is deliberately created with a wisdom. So human beings are given intelligence and we are expected to understand this. Now, the argument explanation of this headline, the subtitle, the argument goes on by the author saying and consulting our reasoning to think about it. We will notice that in the whole text, the author is not going to mention God can do it, but he will say the one who is giving existence to this universe with its all different qualities must be able to give existence again in a renewed form, as we see in the world. That's we have to pay attention as well. So it is presented to us in a way that we shouldn't use our previous belief or acceptance, which is taken out of the cultural environment or culture, social culture that we are born into. But we have to have our own conclusion. That is what we have to notice in the way that the author treats the subject, so that it will be, if I am convinced at the end, intellectually and sensually, if I am convinced, it will be my conviction, my conclusion, that is called my belief, not inherited culture. I heard that in our culture, in our religion, there is God will create the universe again. That is just borrowed information. Like saying in Islamic tradition, they say, or the Muslims claim, or the sources which explain Islam to human beings say or claim that there will be a resurrection. And I may say, yeah, I confer. Why? Because it is my culture. This is not belief. So we have to be careful how we should establish, build up our belief. Satisfied. We must be satisfied with our conclusions. So the reasoning starts with a question. Is it at all possible that the one who gives life to this vast, dead and dry earth we see in winter is an example, who in so doing, it means giving life to dead earth, or all the beings die in winter, except this is a demonstration. That's why who in sowing is doing demonstrates his power by deploying more than 300,000 different forms of creation, each of them as remarkable as man, perfect creation. We may say, I don't know whether, let's say, the pigeons are perfect. When you look at them within their own existence, they are perfect pigeons, as we are perfect human beings. As a stone is perfect as a stone. Everything is perfect. So, who, let me mark, and it will be easy to follow, hopefully. We are studying this phrase, who further demonstrates in this deployment his all-embracing knowledge by the infinite distinctions and differentiations he makes in the complex intermingling of all of those forms. Different forms of creation are manifested. They are intermingled with each other. All the plants, for example, come out of the same material. Animals also are made of same material, but infinite distinctions and differentiations. Now, we don't ever see any confusion between, for example, sheep and cows. They're completely different. It means a conscious arrangement behind all these activities. So, this one who is demonstrating all these actions, this one who directs the gaze of all his worshiping human beings, it means consciously responding back human beings to everlasting bliss by promising them resurrection in all of his heavenly degrees. Now, the same one also promises that the resurrection will happen through his heavenly degrees. We see that in all religious traditions. There is such an idea. May not be exactly they may not be described in the exactly the same way, but they all mention something about resurrection. It means a new type of creation must happen for human beings. So, who demonstrates again this? Excuse me. This one demonstrates the splendor of his dominicality by causing all of his creation to, let me get rid of this, to collaborate with one another, to revolve within the circle of his command and his will, to aid one another and be submitted to him. It means every creation, we understand, everything which exists are created in a perfect harmony. They collaborate with one another. But, for example, earth, soil, water, air, sunlight, all the material elements are the bedrock of plants. Plants are the means for animals. They are collaborating with each other in a perfect way, but they don't have any consciousness. Even the DNA, I mean, this DNA problem always attracts my attention. The people keep talking about DNA, and correct. The way the living cells are created, look like a book. The knowledge is inscribed there. But we have to ask that. Can the book, for example, let's say there is a blueprint of a building, simple, or on a machine, where an engineer draws a plan of a machine. Do you think the plan itself makes the machine? Can be the source of the existence of the physical machine? But it is there. It means it is written there, or the plan is drawn, or whatever is made by a conscious being who is aiming at making the machine. It is a conscious activity. It is a deliberate, wise activity. But the plan itself cannot be the maker of the physical appearance of the result. The plan only demonstrates the knowledge, the consciousness, the will of its source of existence, whoever drew this plan. That is why we have to be careful when people speak that DNA develops itself. Can the plan perfect itself and become a perfect physical being? Now, DNA is in my cell, but I am a physical being. Can it give me the existence, this knowledge written in my DNA, be the source of existence of my being, physical being, or is it only a sign that the one who gave existence to it knows what he is planning to create, and let the conscious beings know what he is going to do and prepare themselves accordingly? Look, it is an interesting thing to study genealogy or human genome or animals as well. But for the moment, they are working on human only. So why? We know the plan of the creator. We learn the plan of the creator there. And for example, if we see that in the plan, there is something that I don't want it, I look for the solution for it. Like when I am ill, I look for the solution for my illness. And that is the option given to me. So we must be honest to use it, not to abuse it. I can abuse it as well, like people are changing the genes of plants, animals, abusing them to grow more. They are greedy. What changed the nature of the creation? I see a sign reminding me that somebody is, Shahrani family is raising her hand. So, yeah, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. I just wanted to make a comment about DNA because I agree that it's like a cultural obsession that we have, because mostly it's been marketed for making lots of money in DNA sequencing, and it seems to be a new wave of medicine that's coming upon us. But I just wanted to point out a few things about DNA that are very important to understand. So I remember working in the laboratory as an undergraduate, in which we would pull out bottles of what's called nucleotides, which are what the DNA is actually made up of. So, these are just molecules of chemical compounds that have a special attraction to each other, and you can actually just keep them in a little laboratory jar, and then pull them out from the refrigerator, and then mix them together in a certain way. And because they're created with this chemical attraction to each other, they bond and they form DNA. And then, so you realize that this is what we're talking about here. We're talking about a molecule that has attraction to other molecules. We're not talking about some special, something that's any different than other systems that we see working together. For example, we see organs working together in the body, the heart, the liver, but we don't think that there's something particular. I mean, once you study it and really analyze it, you realize that no, this heart in itself doesn't have knowledge, and it's working perfectly in this system, but it's not making the lungs function, for example, nor are the lungs making the heart function. But when they're placed together and they're doing their perfect action together, or being made to do it. I know that language can be a bit problematic in the way that I'm saying this, but you realize that no, neither one of these organs is causing my body to work. They are together being put into the system. You could think of the very simple plant, sun, water, soil example. Which factor in that system is responsible for life happening? You can see that the plant doesn't know the soil, isn't creating the soil, yet the soil is perfectly providing nutrients, yet it also needs the sun. And the sun, it doesn't know about the plant, has no knowledge about the plant, yet the plant perfectly receives the sun rays from the sun. And the water doesn't know about the sun yet, and doesn't know about the cellular makeup of the plant. And so you see that all of these are lifeless matter that is working together beautifully in a perfect system. But you see that they're not the producers of the result of what happens when these things come together. And it is the same with DNA. DNA is the coming together of molecules, we call them nucleotides, that have a specific structure for each other. But it's because of and then they work within a system. But because of widespread ignorance about this, and also because our culture tends to it really does use DNA as as some special miraculous explanation for the for the existence of life, when DNA, if you think about it, has no like even if you were to entertain the idea that DNA had knowledge, DNA does not know how to interact with the rest of the atmosphere, which is necessary for life to exist. And so you see that very easily the argument breaks down as soon as you place it within like the reality of the system that it's inside of. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you sharing your knowledge about it, which I have no idea. Because I don't know the technical side of it, but I only pay attention to the philosophy behind it or the reasoning behind it. And I benefited from it. I think everybody appreciated your explanation. Thank you. As a conclusion of what you said, I always try to mention this point that all the elements, whatever the name we use for them, cannot act independently. They always follow and obey the order of the universe. This is extremely important for me because they don't have free will. They don't have qualities, as you said. They have no knowledge of anything. They have no wisdom. Of course, we have to remember that order never changes and they follow the order. But as the result, by following the order, as the result, they cannot create the result. Just they are given existence. I think one of the most important points that we have to keep in mind, we have to be careful whether the universe is continuing its existence or the universe is given a new existence every day, every moment. Which one is correct? Can the universe guarantee its existence tomorrow? For example, any matter or qualities of the matter, can they themselves guarantee their existence in the future? There is no power, there is no knowledge. They are continuously created, constantly given existence by the self-sustaining one. It means whoever gave existence to the universe. None of the things in the universe has the quality of self-sustaining, cannot sustain their existence. Here we are, conscious beings with free will, in intelligence. Can we sustain our existence, or we are just obeying the order of the universe, but we cannot make a decision about our existence? We can only use what is already created in the universe. For example, I may need something. What I do, I go and use whatever is created. Can I create anything? No, just I choose what is already created. That is what I can do. Is the intelligent, conscious person who has free will to choose. How about matter? Matter has none of these qualities at all, as human beings have. Another point that we should always fundamentally keep in mind, we can talk about the existence of matter, molecule, or atoms, or particles. We have to talk about the qualities of these beings as well. For example, two elements, as our friend mentioned, attract each other. Okay. Now, what exists there in this statement? Two elements exist, plus the quality of attraction. Attraction is an activity, is an action. We have to question the quality of these, the source of existence of these qualities as well. What is the reason for the existence of attraction? What is the reason for the existence of knowledge? What is the reason for the existence of shape, form? What is the reason for the existence of wisdom in the existence of anything? These qualities also must be questioned. For example, we may say, some people claim, of course, brain is the source of knowledge or processing, reasoning. Okay, what is the source of existence of brain is one question. Another important question is, what is the source of existence of reasoning? It is a quality. It is a quality. For example, it's a very simple example. Again, I go to this example very frequently, which is very realistic and simple. So we can talk about, for example, a painting. There is a painting, beautiful picture, whatever. So, or a sculpture. Let's change the subject for a sculpture now. A piece of art, whatever it is. Now, what we say art, for example, let's say a statue is made of bronze or marble, stone. Okay, let's say stone. What is the source of existence of stone is one question. But even more important, what is the source of existence of art manifesting itself in this stone? We call it a piece of art. We don't call it a stone. There may be a stone, a piece of stone on a mountain, for example, or somewhere, and we call it a stone. But if we look at a sculpture, we don't say it's a stone. We say it is an art made up of a stone, a piece of stone. Qualities, what the materialist people miss out, to me, deliberately. They don't talk about the source of existence of the qualities we see in the world, in this creation. Okay, there are some more comments. Let me go there and see. Thanks for sharing your insight. I didn't know half of that about the NH1. Okay, Abe. And she said in a certain way is another quality, maybe, yes, in a wise way. They don't really communicate with each other for nothing. They communicate or they attract each other in order to give result to something else. For example, an artist work on the stone and use its chisel, I think it's called chisel, and hits with the hammer for what? In order to make a perfect art, piece of art. There is the purpose. So as our friend Agabe said, certain way, it is happening in a certain way, is also a question. It is Shahrani family writes further, point of investigation. What explains the qualities that I witness in existence? For example, attraction between molecules, beauty, order, knowledge. Yes, what are they? For example, we say, when we read For example, we are reading on the screen now a piece of writing, and it seems to be meaningful. Of course, I can say everything that what appears on the screen, let's say temporarily accept this stage, it's a temporary acceptance, is the result of the function of the machine. Okay. How about the meaning of the sentence? What are they? The meanings. Meaningful, meaning. It's a quality. But what is the source of existence of this quality of knowledge? Machine? Or the way the machine works demonstrates the quality of engineering. Do you think, or can any human reason accept that this quality of engineering arrangement, as the word used here, what was it? Okay. Okay. Engineering in the example, do you think this quality of engineering functioning as a machine at the end of these preferences, choices, is the result of the activity of the pieces, molecules, atoms of the computer machine? No one can say that. Qualities need a source of existence. In the machine example, the qualities of engineering must be the result of an intelligent agent. Now, in the book, the meaningful or the writings on the screen, appearing on the screen, the meaning in it are the signs. The meanings are the signs of an intelligent existence, of an intelligent existence, intelligent being. Although we may not know it, I haven't seen the author. I haven't seen this intelligent being. Can I deny the existence of the intelligent being? No way. I am a human being. I cannot contradict myself. That is some additions to maybe alongside with what Shahrani family and Agabe said. Okay, let's go ahead. Now we are going to read this phrase now. Who shows the importance, the one who arranged all this universe, gave existence and created the things again and again continuously. This one shows the importance he has given to many, he has given to men by creating him as the most comprehensive, the most precious and delicate, the most valued and valuable fruit on the tree of creation by addressing him without intermediary and subjugating all things to him. Now, of course, human beings, as far as we are concerned, we see that we are really a comprehensive, precious, delicate, valued, valuable fruit of the tree of the universe. We are not comparing ourselves with others, but as far as I see that I can use the trees, animals, and other inanimate beings, and I can utilize the celestial beings, so I can conclude that I am very precious, I'm very comprehensive. Okay, but the most important message of this paragraph, this sentence is, whoever is doing or making, giving existence to me is addressing me without intermediary as subjugating all things to me. Why addressing me without intermediary? What does it mean, addressing me without intermediary? All my feelings, all my primordial dispositions, qualities as human being, I received them from nowhere in the universe. That exists in me. There is no sense of any human qualities, thinking, for example, planning, desiring, liking, disliking, fearing, or feeling that I have to take care of my children. Why? I don't know. They say it's a ridiculous claim that every animate being wants to protect and continue their generation. It means reproduce. Why? Do you think the atoms taught me this? Instructed me this? That I have to get married and have children and take care of them? Although it looks like physically a lot of burden on me physically, but emotionally, I love it. I love taking care of a baby. For example, you can ask yourself, even if it is not your baby, look how human beings are really addressed by their creator directly with no intermediary. If you see a baby left on the street and you found it, can you leave the baby alone and walk away? I can't. I don't think any of us can claim this. Any normal, I don't know, maybe some mad and delirious people who may do, but that must be only 1 out of 1 billion because it is illness. Otherwise, we are created in such a way that we cannot leave the baby there. I say to myself, ask this question, why? Why should I care? Where did I get this feeling? Where did I get these qualities? The atoms taught me. It is ridiculous to reduce human qualities to matter. So the brain produces knowledge. Now, brain needs to be given existence, and knowledge needs to be given existence. Can the matter produce knowledge? Do they have any quality to manufacture knowledge? Knowledge is a quality. So we understand that all our feelings are the communications with our creator directly from him, directly with him, with no intermediary, because there is no intermediary that I have these all human qualities. And you also, everybody, has all these qualities. We share the same common qualities by given to us by our creator. No matter can be the source of existence of this, and I can communicate with my creator directly as he has given me the qualities to receive from him directly with no intermediary, so I can respond back to him with no intermediary. Directly say, oh, the creator of my health. Now you created me illness, sickness, whatever it is. Can you please take this one away, because you gave me the sense not to like it, not to like sickness. So I am communicating with you through the senses you gave me. So you are my addressee, I am your addressee. What a beautiful way of communicating with the source of our existence. Why do we torture ourselves and claim that we are meaningless beings to be destroyed when we die? What's wrong with this human being? Why don't they prefer? Why shouldn't we? Let's talk about ourselves. Why shouldn't we preserve our pure existence as we are? They call it natural being. It means as we are created. It is very important to pay attention to the sayings of the Quran that God says, I present you a religion which is futra. This is a very important word, fatara. It means original existence. I created you originally, and my religion, my presentation of guidance to you is exactly as your pure existence, nothing different from it. So whoever gave existence to me is presenting me a religion, a guidance to understand what my reality is, how should I behave in this world, is totally appropriate and fitting to the way that I am created. That is what God's religion is all about. That is what the messengers bring to us. Nothing contradicting our nature. Belief in God, as far as our subject is concerned, belief in the resurrection, necessity of the existence or recreation after death. These are what is ingrained in us. These senses are given to us by our Creator, and we have to turn back to Him that, look, you gave me this sense to desire eternal happiness, and I confirm that this eternal happiness must be created by you. والبعث بعد الموت حق. That is, I phrase this phrase. I love this phrase really. After death, the resurrection is really true. I confirm it. Why? It is in my nature. This is how I am created. And I don't ask anything of this universe to resurrect me. It is impossible. They cannot do anything anyways. Let alone after my death, they will resurrect me. But the one who created me within the conditions of this universe must be the one who gave this desire to me, and he is asking me to come back to him and present my need to him. I need to be resurrected in the best form that I can satisfy all my needs in this world. Please do that. So I am expecting you to do it. I am confirming it. I am presenting to you. I'm not expecting my properties, my wealth to extend my existence after I die. I know they are worse than me, helpless. They're more helpless than me. When I die, that's it. What they do, my body is taken to the grave. So my feelings remain with me. My spirit remains with me. Okay. Is it at all possible that so compassionate and powerful Evan, so compassionate and powerful, but powerful, the power, the manifestation of the power is manifest in the existence of everything. Compassionateness, he's really making everything in such a way that they help each other. They are working harmoniously with each other. They are collaborating with each other. So we satisfy our needs. Who doesn't eat when he feels hungry? Why? Why do we eat? Because we are given this sense of need for nourishment. And it is mercifully, compassionately provided to me. So this one, wise and all-knowing one, shouldn't think about resurrection so that I will go away and after I am created, after I experience the beauty of existence and life, then I will be totally thrown into the pit of nothingness. It is impossible for a human mind to accept that. So it must be a new creation. And the one who creates this universe manifests this as he can recreate again everything. He gives death and to the beings, and then through their seeds, or let's say the project or the blueprint, the plan, gives another existence again. So my plan, my blueprint is my spirit. So the next creation must be according to the capacity of my spirit, which needs eternal happiness. Now, let's go to the next phrase. Should not restore man to life, this one who's able to do, and he's so powerful, so compassionate, then he shouldn't restore us, men, to life, or be unable to do so, should not be able to inaugurate his Supreme Court, which what did you deserve? Now, what did you do with the means I gave you to communicate with me? Did you deny them? Did you reject them? Or did you accept them as they are created and communicated with me? This is a Supreme Court. Let's see what your reality is, what we have chosen with your free will. This one shouldn't be, is it possible that this one should not be able to create heaven and hell? It means paradise and hell? No, impossible. Indeed, by no means is any of this possible. It means it must be really created a new creation, which is which consists of heaven and hell. Why? We choose good. We may preserve our true nature, or we may deny it. Okay, we will work on it a bit in the following sentences. Indeed, the almighty disposer of this world's affairs creates in every century, every year, and every day on the narrow and transient phase of the globe, this world, this universe, narrow, small, compared to the universe, Earth is nothing, just even not a dot. Numerous signs, what are created, numerous signs, examples, and indications of the supreme gathering and the plane of resurrection. Here we go in spring, everything which we thought was dead. Again, they gathered and resurrected, giving existence again. He's demonstrating that he's able to do this. He's doing it. Thus, in the gathering that takes place every spring, we see that in the course of 5 or 6 days, more than 300,000 different kinds, or millions of actually now. That time when this text was written, only there were 300,000 different living beings known to human beings. Now we know that millions. So millions of different kinds of animal and plant are first gathered together and then dispersed. Gathered, dispersed, gathers, dispersed, continuously manifesting what he can do, what he is going to do in the example of this universe, so that we can see and understand which kind of creator he is by doing so what he is promising me. So the roots of all the trees and plants, as well as some animals, are revived and restored exactly as they were. That's what we experience in this world. I think there's no need to talk about it further. The other animals are recreated in the form so similar as to be almost identical, but not really exactly the same, but identical. No one can claim that 2 oranges are the same. They look like, but they are not exactly identical. It means the creator deliberately creating it, demonstrating that it is not a copy pasting. It is a specific action manifesting itself there, and everything is deliberately designed pertaining to its own being. It means everything is newly created and they are all different, although very slightly different sometimes completely different, demonstrating that everything is consciously, deliberately created by a one who can do all these endless acts of creation with no difficulties. So the seeds which appear in their outward form to be so close to each other, nonetheless, in the course of 6 days or 6 weeks, let's just example how some things are created in 1 day, some things are created in 2 days. Sometimes I found some mushrooms, different kinds of mushrooms appeared in 1 night, and sometimes we see that the tree is created in 6 years or something. It doesn't matter, but different types of creation is manifesting in this world and demonstrating which kind of creator is acting behind them and manifesting its qualities to human beings that we are expected to think about. So become distinct and differentiated from each other. Everything is uniquely created, and then with extreme speed, ease, and facility. So no difficulties we can see are brought to life in the utmost order and equilibrium. Now, everything is perfectly arranged, but so quickly, easily, no difficulties, no confusion. Everything has its own unique existence. That is what we are seeing in this world. No, okay. Let's read this paragraph, and time is up. Is it at all possible that the one who does all of this, anything should be difficult? For this one, anything should be difficult, that he should be unable to create the heavens and the earth in 6 days. It means the same, some sort of different, not necessarily in 6 days. Spring, for example, is mentioned about paragraph as taking place in 6 days. It means different periods of time. It is demonstrating itself clearly, like reading 1 page and then another page and then another page and then another page. And then full book is completed when we read page by page. The creation is taking in this way so that we will understand that every page, every day, every moment is deliberately created, written by a conscious being, if you like. Then we can say it written, if we liken the universe to a book. So 6 days, the Quranic language the author is using, it means different periods of existence. But anyway, it is obviously manifested in front of our eyes. For example, a life of let's say a germ may take a few seconds. Life of the galaxies take billions of trillions of years. Life of the universe takes, I don't know. I mean, I cannot think of any quadrillion or I cannot make a number for it. I don't know. But it is a huge time. But compared to each other, in fact, different types of creation, nothing else. The 6 days in the Quran shouldn't confuse you. Different types of creation taking place, different periods that we are experiencing them. By the way, time is only our perception. That is something else. So it's not our subject. That this one who is demonstrating all his qualities should be unable to resurrect man with a single blast. I mean, say, okay, be it when it is, but no, by no means is it possible. All right. Now it is going to give us another example. Let's stop here for this week. Although I am always intending. Okay, Yahya says, subhanallah. Okay, Yahya, it is really insane. Let me see. Insane how most of the people are blind to this fact. It's really insane. I cannot make sense of it. Shahrani family says, could we please discuss more how to confirm trust in the constant resurrection? I am finding an objection in my mind that says, well, yes, he can resurrect us, but he could just take all this existence and meaning away if he wanted to do so. At this point, it seems I must realize my need for revelation that promises me to be fulfilled for my need for eternity, and then I must ask what I have learned about the Creator in this investigation and learning process. Is it trustworthy? I have been convinced of his trust. Have I been convinced about his trustworthiness? Is look at yourself. Yeah, it's a good question. Very question that everybody asks actually. So, very briefly, I have the feeling, and this feeling for need for eternal satisfaction. Everybody struggles in this world for a better life. For a better life. This quality is given to us by the one who created us. So I don't want death. I don't want illness. I don't want aging. I don't want to lose my beautiful qualities that I have been given and I have tasted. And where did I get this feeling? This feeling is given to me by my Creator. Everybody, even the most atheist, blunt atheist person, if his or her mother, is struggling, suffering from an illness, she will say, okay, but that is accidental, let her go and die and leave her alone. Or go back to our previous example, seeing a baby, the very, very blunt atheist sees a baby in the street, abandoned, left. Do you think he can ignore it? Because saying it is an accidental development. no purpose. At the end, everybody will disappear anyway. Can you say it? No. What is the feeling in us must be practiced automatically. So it automatically practices itself anyway, most of the time beyond my choice, as far as my primordial need for something will, not as a result of my choice, it automatically happens. I take care of the baby. So this sense is automatically functioning. The sense for the desire for eternal happiness is also automatically functioning and letting me know that this desire must be performed. Otherwise, why should the creator of this desire would have given it to me and not fulfilling it? No, it is impossible. If hunger is given to me, food must be provided for me. That is how the universe demonstrates. If the desire to regenerate, it means get married and take care of the children, bring them into, prepare them for the life, take care of them, whatever they need, work for their benefit, and I'm doing it. I do it. If I don't do it, it means I'm contradicting my nature. So we have to think that these desires are given to us as in the form of promise that he is going to do it. Otherwise, why he would give all of them to us, all these desires for eternal happiness, for perfection, or disliking death, disliking old age. Everybody tries to look younger and younger. What does it mean? That is ingrained in our nature. And this is a promise from my creator teaching me. It automatically requires it. Automatically must be realized. But when you say, I need revelation, revelation confirms it. Revelation makes me feel much more comfortable to say, yeah. That's what I was feeling. That's what I felt in my true nature. And the revelation tells you will be resurrected. Oh, it must be so. I confirm this message. So revelation is out there to be confirmed through our experiences. That's what we, most of the time, ignore this aspect of revelation. Revelation must be confirmed through our experiences. Revelation, like the professor teaching the students, and the students go to the library and practice what the professor taught them in class, so that the result of our experience in the lab confirms what the professor taught me in class. The teachings of God in the revelation is like teaching in the class. But the universe is the means of confirming what the professor taught in class. It means what the revelation is telling. So revelation needs to be learned, but not imitatively confirmed. But after experiencing in the universe, it must be confirming. The result must be confirming what the content of the revelation reveals to me. That is what we have to work with the revelation. We cannot take the news of the revelation for granted with no evidence. This is not belief. We have to make sure this point. This is not belief. This is imitating the revelation. How should I know that this revelation is correct? Of course, I have to have evidence. I have to go to the lab of the universe, find out evidences, and confirm what the professor taught me, what the revelation taught me in its book, for example, or in the sayings of the prophets. So we cannot imitate the revelation. I'm shouting. We cannot imitate the revelation. We get the guidance, but confirm it in the universe. Okay, I think we are out of time. Thank you very much. Inshallah, God willing, next week, somebody please take up the moderatorship, and so that we can listen to you as well. Wassalamu alaikum. Please sign up in the moderator list. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة